you remember how this whole thing started? Like the whole simp movement thing started? Or was it something that just
I think it was just like an internet phenomenon. If anything, I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much, but I feel like maybe at some point, people saw like girls doing really well.
Yeah.
Clock that their viewers are guys, or that they get a certain type of energy. I don't know why. Maybe for some people that like it makes them feel jealous potentially.
Right.
Or to them, it just doesn't really make sense.
Like they don't even want to try to understand it, or whatever. Because I think definitely, I think there was like a very a very long period where it was a very gradual rise of like, oh, girls play games and stream too, guys. It's like, whoa, what the fuck, So it's like, I think it's from there that's when it started to kind of this movement of like just people who clearly were never in the right mindset to begin with, who were suddenly like, wow, look at all these men conforming to these female streamers. What, just because they're good at League? Now suddenly they're your wife? It's like, no, they're just entertaining people, and they just want to like watch their favorite streamer regardless of their gender. It's like,
maybe the other thing is, I think it is really, really hard to break through on Twitch.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
It's such a saturated platform, and even 3-4 years ago when it wasn't as saturated, it was still hard then. And it's especially hard when you're the 100,000th guy to stream. But when you're a girl, because you're like more rare or more of a minority on Twitch, sometimes
more rare. The shiny Pokemon.
Don't take this. I've heard of them.
They're like the SSR pools of Twitch, right?
Because there aren't as many female streamers, sometimes you can have an easier start. Only start, not middle and growth. But sometimes you can have an easier time gaining initial traction, again, because you stick out in comparison to all the other smaller or newer streamers. And I think when they see this like advantage in a sense, I can understand people being upset at that. Like, I don't have the ability to do that.
Right.
And then they twist it into, like, I guess, viewing that person's gender negatively, or being like, oh, it's just because people are simping for them. Like, they turned, I guess, this situation into just calling other people a simp. To discredit whatever viewership or success that person has.
I'd say you're in the category of just a normal streamer who is a girl, right?
Yeah.
And I think the reason why it's a really fucking annoying conversation to have about all of this stuff is because there is some people who stream on Twitch who happen to be women who definitely push the fucking envelope. Like, just take the piss with what like should be allowed.
Skirt TOS.
Is it frustrating when you feel that like you're trying to kind of push like, hey, we can do this stuff, and then you just flip over to the other category and this woman that's naked, literally slobbering on like an ear. Like, how do you deal with that?
Okay, I actually had a freaking epiphany regarding this.
Okay,
right.
Years ago, mainly when, as I said, like there was all this virality around like, this girl shows cleavage in games, like she's being schmexual. She's doing this, right? And no, I kid you not, but back then, like, those were almost the only girls that could have like 2K plus viewers, aside from maybe like Hafu during her pro
what was her name?
tournaments.
Like Casey Tron, was that what it was?
She was a meme, but like
that's
her
great. She's fucking hilarious.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
So that really, those kind of were the top female streamers at a very initial point on Twitch. And at that time, there was like some frustration, I think, for a lot of female streamers, because they're like, people come into our chats and they either expect this, or they label all female streamers as this one thing.
Right.
And imagine, even in college, when I told people that I streamed, they're like, you're a cam girl. No, I'm on a webcam, but like, I doesn't necessarily mean I'm a cam girl. Even my roommates are like, you do what? I'm like, video game.
So I turn on the computer, I stream online to thousands of viewers, and they give me money sometimes. I don't know why they think I'm a cam girl. I don't know.
That's like when you try and explain your streaming career to like your grandma. It's like the most like rudimentary.
Your grandma doesn't know what a cam girl is. You shouldn't know, I hope.
Well, so initially there were some frustrations where it's like, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
But I remember someone told me once, they were like, you shouldn't be upset at the female streamers who are doing that. You should be upset at the guys who are expecting you to do the same thing just because they saw someone else do it.
Yeah.
Or for guys who are having one assumption about an entire gender based off of one person that they saw.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, true. Yeah.
Third eye opens.
Legit, because it is difficult not to be frustrated when you feel like there's a negative stereotype.
Yeah.
And not be upset at the people perpetuating that.
Yeah.
But also, if anything, I'd be more annoyed at like the people clickbaiting them and like trying to sensationalize it.
Yeah.
Like if homegirl wants to make her money, go make your money.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially
Yeah.
nowadays, like you don't have to be mad at all because it's been made much more clear. Like streamers can come in all sorts of types and varieties.
Yeah. And that's a really interesting point because I think part of the problem was that talking about the problem just became as profitable as like the problem itself.
Yeah.
Like there
Which
was,
made it seem like a bigger problem than it might
yeah,
have
yeah,
been.
yeah,
Clicks,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the rise of especially commentary and drama YouTubers within like the past 5 years just like kind of coincided with this kind of witch hunt
You're
to look
triggering
for.
my PTSD.
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. Go
Yeah.
on.
That's just like a similar thought to, I think we spoke about this before on the podcast. It's like, you know how sometimes people are like, parents should teach women how to like avoid fucking creepy fucking weird dudes. And it's like, and I think someone commented something along the lines of like, it was like, no, parents should teach their male kids to not be fucking freaks.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah.
You like solve the issue from the most fundamental place and not, you know, all the way up at the top, you know?
Yeah, I think
Correct,
unfortunately it's just easier to like pick on like one public target rather than just a lot of faceless masses because then it's just like, well, society, right?
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah, you were so right. There was like a period of time where it was especially profitable to like pick on people or make videos about them or speak negatively on them.
Yeah.
Like regardless of what platform they were on. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok,
Yeah.
anything.
I remember
Just
like every week
make
there was Pokemon
essays,
drama.
Yeah.
picking people apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for a long time, like I felt really bad about myself because I was like, I'm not problematic, man. What's wrong with me?
You just had you were too successful. Your name was worth a lot, and it would
Yeah.
get clicks. That's something to be complimented.
It's
Right? But like as one human being,
Yeah,
knowing all these human beings are talking about is weird.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I guess almost like math or like logically, it's hard not to think like, oh, maybe I am the problem.
Right.
And not to say that I'm a perfect person, but in
Yeah.
hindsight, it just had a lot to do with the position that I was in. Like if you would put any other person and name on the channel that I was on, it would be their names in those titles instead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is, because of like the problem that your name was just so, I guess, like recognizable and clickable, like you do like one thing and I swear like people were just making fucking 9-part series on this like one thing that was like barely an issue to begin with. And it was just like, and people clicked on it and it was unfortunate at the time. I don't know if it still was prevalent nowadays, but there was definitely a time.
I think I don't think it's as prevalent nowadays because I think now there's a lot of commentary channels who have now opted towards the route of like, we're not going to necessarily give our opinions on this thing, but we're just going to state the facts and what we know. And it's up to you to decide what you want to take out of it. But at the same time, I think what a lot of those channels don't understand is that their audiences, for the most part, aren't as intelligent enough to just make up their own opinions. You know, usually they go to those videos because they want
their
the tea.
opinion made
You know,
for them.
they want the drama. They want an
also,
opinion to get behind.
Whatever you're covering,
Yeah.
whose sides are you showing? How deep are you really looking into?
Exactly.
Are you showing the first report you saw on Dixterra with that shitty fucking articles?
Yeah.
That's been
Oh, yeah,
the
I was gonna ask.
most
Yeah, so I've recently started getting these. I don't know if this means that I'm doing well. I think that means I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's
I
like
think
it'll be
does.
like Twitch star Sea-Dog fucking took Iron Mouse to a park on stream and it was wholesome. And then there'll be another one where it's like Twitch star fuck Sea-Dog. I love the word Twitch star. That's what I call myself. Twitch star Sea-Dog falls at Jump King, and it's like that's not newsworthy. They do this for everything.
Really?
Okay.
They'll be like XQC had an opinion. Here it is. Yeah.
No, but sometimes is it just me, man? Like they write the craziest shit about me. Like,
Okay. What do they write?
bruh, okay, I have this kind of joke that I've made, I think 3 times, which is I have these 2 cats that I love so much, and I care a lot. Like I'm so invested in my cat.
Your children.
Okay.
Yeah, truly. But sometimes my mind goes so far. I'm like, I think my cat should roam free.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Like, it was born an animal. I'm imprisoning it. As it has like a $2,000 cat tree, a $500 cat bed,
I think
like high quality tuna 3 times a day.
Every cat owner knows the cat owns you.
Yeah.
You do not own
So true.
The cat does what it wants.
Yeah.
So true.
You are the cat servant. It's living a good life.
Cats are very good at surviving on their own. It will be fine.
But like, my mind goes this far and I'm like, what's my dream? I want to live on a farm, but it's an enclosed farm, so it can roam free, but I never have to worry about it like going too far.
Okay, so how does this lead into
free-range cats?
The article?
Right, okay, sorry, So one day I was making this joke, blah, 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 just like I did to you guys.
Right.
What does a Dexerto article say? Yep. It says Pokimane breaks down away to a farm or something.
I hope they make a parody one from this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I really will hope you do that.
Bro, and then my mom calls me. She's like, "Sweetie, are you okay?" I'm in the middle of Valorant game, like, "What? What's wrong?" She's like, "I read an article." I'm like, "Stop."
I don't mind the articles. It's just like, what the fuck? What are these titles? I don't know. It's just interesting how they choose to sensationalize the mundanest details.
It's really made me realize, like, whether it's YouTube clickbait or random articles online, people will believe anything they can read.
Yeah,
if you read it, it's true.
Unfortunately, it's gone to the point where you're just bombarded with so much shit that you read like one headline and you're like, yeah, okay, I guess that happened, and
just a slow news day. Not much
is going on.
Especially now with like fucking tweet longers being entire dissertations. You're like, I can't read through all this. Just like sometimes
all of a sudden I'm not literate.
Yeah. So, like I feel bad. I feel bad, but sometimes I'm just like, just tell me how to think. It's right. Like I don't have the time to get.
I think it's both like human nature. It's sometimes just easier to agree with someone when they make sense and it feels good. You're like, yeah, that's true.
Especially when they're passionate about it, you're like, you have energy for this.
Yeah. I don't.
Go ahead.
I have energy to agree, which is down here. But and also I think we're so, as you said, like overwhelmed with information, and different titles and comments and this and that. It's hard to tell what is like true or not, especially when someone is like confident and it makes sense. You're like, good enough for me. But that's been very difficult in my position, and it sometimes just feels like I have to go so out of my way to correct all the random things other people are saying about me. That's exhausting.
Those people are going to believe whatever they want, right? If they see this article, they're going to believe it. And even if the article didn't exist, they're going to make up shit in their head of why they don't like you.
But you know what's sad? I actually kind of disagree. I think there is, like, let's say 10 or 20%. Yeah. I think there's like a group of people, they will believe anything negative about you and you cannot convince them out of it because they didn't convince themselves into it. They wanted to hate you from the start. But I think there is like quite a big group of people that might just have gotten the wrong impression or believed something that wasn't true.
You think it's that big? I don't think it's that big. I think that like
it's hard to truly quantify.
You'll go insane trying to correct all the false shit about you online. And maybe it's not big. Maybe it's not a big deal. But like just trying to correct all the stuff all the time is like, why do I give a fuck about this? Let me just play video games. I really don't fucking care.
I think like it depends. For example, like nowadays it's not something that bothers me as much.
Right.
But during a very specific like year or two of my career, for sure, that felt like the majority of my life. Like, and I especially noticed.
No, guys, I didn't kick my cat. Okay.
I noticed because like again, months or like a year or two later, I had a lot of people, like an influx of people that I would see everywhere, just saying like, oh, I'm sorry, like I had a really bad impression of you because of XYZ, but now I realize you're normal. You know? A lot of those kind of comments. So
because you get, I think what can happen is as well, and it's nothing like, it's not that bad, but you see all this stuff about you online and people are saying these things and you get frustrated about it. And then the one thing that I've had to like try and dial back personally as well is like try not to give too much frustration on stream or publicly, because then some people see that and they're just like, I just don't like this energy. They don't like it. And that freaks them out.
Yeah.
And then they'll get a
That was
bad
lot for
impression.
me to
Yeah,
learn,
right?
man. It's
Yeah.
not even about what you say, it's about how you say
Oh,
it.
yeah, of
That's
course.
what makes it believable or not, essentially, to people.
No, definitely.
Yeah. Well, because the way I see about it is that every creator gets they get like one dunk. Everyone is allowed one dunk where they could be like, "Yo, this guy's talking bullshit," right?
Yeah.
And you get your slam dunk, and like even if there
Or
are
refresh for like 2 years.
Yeah,
It's
and
on
then-
cooldown.
Yeah, then even if people continue to talk bad about you, if you continue to address it, even if it's a complete slam dunk and you're completely right and the guy's a clown, you're still people will be like, well, he's kind of like getting a bit too involved in this, right? He's caring a bit too much.
He's a
now.
bit too defensive right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah,
That's
like
a bit
he-
sus.
When you're
Yeah.
too involved in drama, people just think you're sus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
if you're
It's like, what are you hiding?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
Why are you
just-
so desperate?
It's just I don't know.
yeah.